This is amazing. Thank you all so much for being here. For anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Jessie Keenan. I'm a choreographer and I'm originally from Cavan, but I'm living in Galway at the moment. So over the last couple of months, I have been exploring ideas around body, buildings and memory, supported by an Arts Council Dance Bursary Award and also a residency here in the Town Hall. So as part of that, I'm really interested in how architecture affects our bodies, and then in turn how our bodies are affected by the spaces that we inhabit. So I've been kind of thinking about things as well around how we hold the buildings or spaces of significance to us within our memories and within our bodies. So as part of this research process, I've been working with dancers Sarah Ryan and Roisin Harton, and with a composer, Tom Lane. So the sound score that you hear tonight is by Tom Lane. And then Sarah will be performing the work and development live here. And myself and Sarah, so she's behind there. Myself and Sarah, she's been a really important part of my kind of collaborative process over the last 7 years. So it was really brilliant to have her then as part of this very early stage of development of this new piece of work that I'm making called The Picture Palace. What you're going to see this evening. So this evening we're going to share a 13-minute, it's like a small section from some of the research that we've been doing in the studio with Sarah, Tom and Roisin. And it's kind of like a window into the really early stages of the creative process. It's like everything's still in motion, we're still testing techniques and creative tasks and ideas and finding what works and what doesn't, what we want to develop further, what we want to leave behind. And it's this really exciting place in the process where it feels like everything's possible. And so it's lovely then to share this moment with an audience, and then, you know, maybe in a year you come back and you see the finished piece and you can kind of like connect those little bits in. So I'm not going to give any more detail about the piece itself. I'll let the work do its thing. But if anyone, afterwards is interested or has questions and would like to ask me about it, totally open to that. And then before we get started, I just want to say a massive thank you to the Cavan Arts Festival for inviting me to be part of this. They're just generally very wonderful and so open and generous with their time. And just very joyous people. So I just want to thank them. And I also want to thank the Town Hall and all the amazing staff here, because they were just really welcoming to me during the residency time that I had here. And then also the Cavan Arts, because they not only have supported me to do this, but they have supported most of my work up until now, which is just really wonderful. So I just want to thank you all for being here, and I would invite you to enjoy our work in development.
15. Yeah, verified. Yeah, you see, I think it was like a changing thing all the time. Daddy was always adding bits and taking bits off. Because I definitely remember at some stage, and we inherited these little chairs. They were aluminium legs of chairs with little pink. Yeah, or they had little arm like this. And my memory is that they were staggered going up like that. So you could sit like a lady. Like a lady. Yes, and that's why I can't. You know where you remember the top floor and the bottom floor, and you look over the balcony? At some stage, this went up a few steps underneath that mummy. Yeah. And so you could sit like a lady on and have a little armchairy thing. You know, it was sort of plastic with little plastic squares on this metal chair. And they ended up our gardens, and then eventually, so they must have gotten rid of that to make more floor space for the dance hour. Because I can't say I remember that in later years, you know. There was something definitely. There were steps going up, but did those steps go up as far as the next floor, or did they just go under? Yeah, I think so. Pillars? Yeah. And they did land nests. There was two. There were like that school desk, but there would be two to use. You don't know whether it's a memory of a memory or whether it's actually a memory. A memory is something you've described. So you know the way that we tell funny stories within the family. And as you say, if you analyse them, half the story is not true. become, and you don't hear the true story because it's not half as good as the one you made up. So the one you made up becomes known as the truth. You know, because we have stories in the family, like we'll say, for instance, now about like, of course, there would be, that didn't happen from other quarters, so we just don't know. Yeah. I'm an unreliable source too. That's the stage, yeah. There must have been some lead up here to the band getting upstairs suddenly. The band, there was a lead up, yeah. There was something, don't even draw it. But I have a feeling there was connection because the band used to appear on the stage, having been down from that end there. Yes, it was there. Yeah. And then there was a balcony, like you could look over there. Yes, yes. That was a balcony there. Yeah. 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 Yeah, now there was sleeps here. In at a certain stage, as far as I remember now, you know, and they were in there in graded steps there. And there were pillars holding something up there. There were pillars there, yeah. There were definitely pillars. It was high. I'm trying to think what. And I think that the round. Pillars? Yeah. And they did armrests. There was two. There were like that school desk, but there would be two to a unit. You don't know whether it's a memory of a memory or whether it's actually a memory. A memory of something you've described. So you know the way that we tell funny stories within the family. It has become. And you don't want to hear the true story because it's not half as good as the one you made up. So the one you made up becomes known as the truth.